Hey guys, welcome to this Augview map tutorial. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the user interface elements in the map. So let's start in the top left hand corner where you'll find our back button. The back button does exactly what you'd expect and takes you back a screen to the login page. To the right of the back button is our search bar. If you'd like instructions on how to use Augview's search functionality, I'd recommend checking out our dedicated search tutorial. To the right of that is our layers button. The layers button serves two functions, the first of which is to act as a loading indicator. So if I go ahead and pan and zoom the map, you'll notice that the layers button has started flashing in and out. This is indicating that data is loading, and once that data is loaded, the animation will stop. If I now go ahead and press the layers button, I'm presented with the layers overlay. So here we have three layers available to us. The layers available to you will depend on the project that you're trying to access. Our top layer here is turned off, the next two are turned on. So if I go ahead and turn, for instance, Bing Maps off, you'll notice that our base map has gone and we're just left with our utility data displayed on top. I'm going to go ahead and turn Bing Maps back on and navigate back to the map. The next button we're interested in is the attributes button located to the right of the layers button. You'll notice that it's currently passive and grayed out. We can't interact with it. This is because we haven't selected any objects and so there are no attributes to display. We can change this by firing a selection request. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on an area of the map that I'm interested in. You'll notice a selection loading indicator has appeared, and once our selection request is finished, we're presented with our objects page, which details all of the objects that were listed in that request. So I'm going to go ahead and drop down stormwater fitting, and you can see we've got 6 stormwater fittings there. I'm going to go with the first one, and we're presented with all of the attributes associated with that stormwater fitting. We can scroll down and have a look at all those different objects. In some projects, you'll be able to edit these attributes and send your changes back to the server, but that functionality is addressed in a different tutorial. For now, I'm just going to press our Goto button, which is represented there by those 4 arrows pointed at one another. And this takes us back to the map screen and centers our selected object in the middle of the map. You'll notice that it's highlighted with a crosshair. If it was a line object, it would be highlighted with a red line. You'll also notice that our attributes button is now available. We can press it as no longer passive, and that takes us back to the attributes page. If we want to deselect that object, all we need to do is tap anywhere on the map, and you'll notice that our highlight, the crosshair, is gone and our attributes button has returned to being passive. The next two buttons, the augmented reality button represented by the cube and the settings button represented by the cog, take you to the augmented reality and the settings screens, and they have their own dedicated tutorials, so I'd recommend checking those out separately. Next to the settings button, you'll see the GPS button, which is currently grey, to indicate that GPS tracking is turned off. If I go ahead and press the GPS button, you'll notice it turns green and our map position is updated to our GPS location, indicated by the blue arrow on the map. I'm currently inside, but if I was to go outside and walk around, the position of the arrow would update and the map would continue to update with it. The final two buttons to look at are our zoom buttons down the right hand side. So we can zoom the map by pinching, like you used to with Google Maps or other touchscreen mapping applications that you may have used, or we can also push the plus and the minus button to zoom in and out. And that concludes this Augview map tutorial. Thanks very much for watching.